the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to poor wild mountain thyme, all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon clear crystal fountain, and on it I will pile all the flowers o'er the mountain. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will roam through the wilds to the deep glens say dreamy, and return with the spoils. Tae the bower, oh my dearie. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to poor wild mountain thyme, all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? If my true love she'll not come, then I'll surely find another to poor wild mountain thyme, all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to poor wild mountain thyme, all around the bloomin' heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? Will ye go, lassie, go? All right. A big, warm COVID hug to one and all. Welcome to Pod Couple podcast number 11. David and Dave, the court jesters, missed you. So without further ado, we will take you on a virtual trip through a literal musical zoo. The song that I tried to sing is Wild Mountain Thyme. It's an old Scottish folk song. I first heard it on a Long John Baldry album called Everything Stops for Tea. It was released in 1972 and was produced by the two R's, Reg and Rod, a.k.a. Elton John and Rod Stewart. Both would become MBEs, as I'm sure you know. Elton provided the vocal accompaniment on tracks 1, 3, 4, and 5, and Rod Stewart provides vocal accompaniment and plays banjo on track 8. On that album, there were other standout songs like Seventh Son is one. You Can't Judge a Book by the Cover, which I'm sure a few of you heard, and Iko Iko. And at that time, it was a Dixie Cups song. This album, along with his previous offering, It Ain't Easy, were the beginning of Baldry's return to the blues after his pop years in the late 60s. Just going to pop something up here before I forget. Okay. I enjoy good album cover art, and Everything Stops for Tea delivers. Baldry is the Mad Hatter in a scene befitting Alice in Wonderland. Another of my favorite covers is Ozark Mountain Daredevils. I probably mentioned it before. The Car Over the Lake album, because it has a 41 Chevy two-door coupe, which I had, jumping over the lake, and I once had one of those, but I didn't jump it, although I did jump a 55 Chev, but not over a lake. In 1976, I was living in, where was I then? Edmonton? Yes. And went on an album buying spree for about a month or two. Sorry, got a little distracted here. And the only criteria was that it had to have my version of a good album cover art. Inside a 2-month window, I purchased approximately 24 albums using this method. This experiment was fruitful in more ways than one, as it gave me lots of really good music to listen to, and it also expanded my horizons down paths that I never would have ventured. So that was kind of cool. Today is Saint Jean-Baptiste Day. It is a big holiday in the province of Quebec. About 36 years ago, on my way to work in Halifax, I stopped off in Montreal to visit my sister Carolyn for a couple of days. Carolyn and her boyfriend took me to Quebec City to celebrate Saint Jean-Baptiste Day. It was a carnival-like atmosphere with lots of people enjoying themselves as we walked back in time down the streets of old Quebec City and partook of the fabulous cuisine and libation. After supper, we went to watch the fireworks display on the Plains of Abraham. There were so many people that we decided to go down towards the river to watch. We were lying down on our backs to get a good look at the sky, and the fireworks began. It was awesome, and it didn't take long for us to realize that we were smack dab in the middle of the debris field. We had to stay on high alert to make sure we didn't get hit, and the scary part was that some projectiles were still burning when they landed. Some came a bit too close for our liking, and I remember more about keeping a vigilant watch than I do about the visual display itself. I always did enjoy things that had an element of danger. Dave and I have come up with pod couple clause number 1. Oh, hi, Claudette. Your hairs, I got some on, yay! All Claudette's a cousin of mine from Winnipeg. You'll probably get the prize for being the person from the furthest away. So we'll see what happens. Kind of lost my place a little bit. Yeah, clause number 1. All podcast viewers must remit annual dues before fiscal year end. Every little bit helps, so please be generous and send what you can afford, and then double it, because after all, there are the 2 of us on the payroll, and we split everything 60-40. But don't say anything to Dave because I haven't told him. Excuse me. Funds should be sent to Santa Claus at gofindme.gone. Dave's in charge of fund administration and has just notified me that, barring any unforeseen difficulties, it should be up and running by Christmas of 2025. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Okay, now I've got a short poem and another one following. Just have a little bit more of this. I don't know what happened. The first one is Bits-n-Bytes. Bits-n-Bytes are out of sight and terabytes in queue. But when the bit's in the byte and out of sight, the megabytes are few. Okay, on that one, the first part's self-explanatory. But it's really talking about a horse in the second half, when the bit's in the byte and out of sight, the megabytes are few because they can't really quite chew as good as they want to. So there you go. Okay, and this is well, I do have quite a kooky side, but yeah, this does really reflect that. Okay, it's called Flatalish. I've been told, don't be so bold as to break the mold, lest you be shunned by the fold and left out in the cold. I don't like the sound of the earth being round, and I doubt I'm a flatalist, so just call me Flatalish. Spherical earth is like a mystery that I just can't believe, unless I'm the man on the moon and the earth I can see. Gazing from the moon, earth may appear flatalish to me. Be it theoretical or empirical, are both earth and moon spherical? I could try to fly through the sky like astronauts do, and orbit round each disk a time or two. But a trip in my easy chair is the best I can do. Perhaps manned space travel was born of such debt that it was masterfully produced on a Hollywood set. Like Thomas the Doubter, I tend to agree. It's hard to believe in what you can't see. Okay, the next little bit is about my social media experience. My foray into the bowels of social media. I'd always steered clear of social media altogether. Then a few years ago, my children put a bit of pressure on me and then began to tighten the screws. This will allow you to stay in communication with us, they would say. I asked, Is it like texting, where it's full of acronyms like logging on land, where's the Frankfurter, and shaking my hands? No, Dad. Only with Messenger, but we do know you're a bit of a mental midget when it comes to acronyms. So, we'll take it easy on you most of the time. I said, another thing I don't like is when I'm asked a question and it takes me 10 minutes to respond because most of my time is taken up inputting data. I'm crushed when 10 seconds later I can't even read that fast. I get another question, and as fast as I can type, I send a message. I'm calling. Please pick up. Phone calls are almost as cheap as texting nowadays. Where's the Frankfurter? I could save a lot of time by calling. They said, Dad, let's forget about Messenger for now and focus on Facebook because they are different apps. Facebook has lots of cool things, like picture sharing and profile building. It's a way of presenting yourself to friends and potential friends. I said, why would I want to be friends with someone I have never met? Hold on just one sec. Is Facebook just a smokescreen for an elaborate dating app? No, they said. Too bad you almost had me sold on it. They said, it's mostly a way to let people know that you are what you are up to, and it's also a way to share your talents. I asked, like party tricks? They said, oh, Dad, please don't. We already bear the scars from years ago. I said, I don't like the idea of having to choose friends. Then they said, well, you can rate them from 1 to 10, and after a while, you'll have a good idea of where the bar should be. I asked, where do you set your bar? They said, that's personal, and we won't divulge it to you. I asked, would you be my friend? They answered, yes, of course we will be your friend. I said, well, in that case, your bar must be set really low. They said, ha ha. And oh yes, on Messenger, you can make video calls. That's kind of cool. They have Facebook Live on the Facebook app. You can record live to your friends. I said, you've got to be a few bricks short to use Facebook Live. For me, my family and friends are rated separately. Over time, I've realized that I need to take my family rating and increase it twofold so that it becomes par with my real friends rating. Otherwise, I may not have any family friends at all. Well, after all that banter, I decided to take the leap and do what I said I would never do. I joined Facebook. Never say never. Like languages, most apps and programs take a while before you become conversant, and even more so to become fluent. After a few years, I'm somewhat conversant, and truancy stands in the way of fluency. What have I learned during Facebook Elementary? If you set the bar too high, you don't have many friends other than a couple of rally friends. If you set the bar too low, you'll have all kinds of friends you don't even know. Set the bar low enough so that you have more than just a handful of friends. If I hadn't lowered the bar enough, I wouldn't have all the great friends that I have now. In fact, I wouldn't be able to be my own friend, nor would I be friends with all my Facebook aliases. The Facebook platform has allowed me to see and talk to my family and friends in the age of COVID, and I'm grateful for that. Before I started on Facebook, I hadn't watched any news on TV or read a newspaper for more than 4 years. Actually, I did read the crosswords and the Sudoku. Hi, Lynn. Lynn, Canada. Yee! A couple of days ago, my pet peeve, the news feed, kind of pushed me over the edge. So I decided to see how many posts struck a chord with me. I hit everything that I didn't like and kept going until it wouldn't allow me to hide anymore. The final score was 75 hidden to 10 kept. That's 88% of the news feed. That pisses me off. I consider going on a messenger holiday and reactivate Facebook once every 2 or 4 weeks to do the podcast or start a YouTube channel. I decided to Google, so I'm in a good mood, right? Kill Facebook news feed. Carriage return. And what do you know? There it was, staring me right in the face. Chrome extension nudge. I wanted to kill all ads and promotions, which I did, but it also unfollows all friends. I'll take it. And don't worry, because I can always visit anyone's page and vice versa. And not totally excommunicated. I am now an aspiring happy camper. It's so liberating to see an empty news feed. Yeah! I got 1 sec. I've got another poem here. I've got lots of poems today because I didn't have a lot of material, and that's kind of why I missed the 1 week there. So I have a feeling that I'll probably go to once every 2 weeks for the podcast, because I want to really, really put out something good and not have to, make it all watered down and that kind of stuff. And I've got a mic stand now, and I got a big monitor so I can see. And I'm using a new program now. It's called OBS Studio. It can do everything. The problem with me is that I haven't learned very much of it yet, haven't had a chance. But as you see, I was going to say 2 of me, but it's Dave and David. Anyhow, I'll give you a real quick sneak look at this. Okay. This is what I this is what you would call my teleprompter or whatever, what I read off of. And excuse me, but it's not going to be, there's going to be flickering and you won't get a very good look at it. So that's the, I hate doing this. It's always counterintuitive. I'm going down. You should go down. Anyhow, there's the big monitor. Let's do this. I'll get right behind it. Yeah, that's the big monitor. And that's my computer, my desktop, and I could hardly see stuff on it because, especially with these programs. And, oh yeah, and the boom for my mic. So, that's what's new and wonderful in my world right now. Okay. This one's called Gut Rot. Assume nothing, consider everything. Don't let logic cloud your mind and hijack your head. Listen to that gut of yours that begs to be fed. Establish rhythm. Stay in tune. Consume. Chew on it or regurgitate instead to be rid of all that crap that you've been led to believe. Have a good look, then open wide, over chin, shovel it in. Hold that rhythm, rock that tune, consume. Chew and chew as you were taught to do. Don't swallow too much nor gulp it down. Now relax and digest for a piece of time. How long it takes is hard to say. Maybe hours, possibly days. If it settles well, all is okay. But if nausea and heartburn is what you got, gnaw on something else for the answer you sought. That's the gut rot. This is a poem that turned into a song, maybe, that I wrote, I think it was 2 years ago. Everyone on Facebook from like Salt Spring and that were complaining about the poor service at Crofton ferries, and apparently it's horrendous. So I got thinking about it, and I thought, oh yeah, I've been on that route quite a number of times. I haven't done it for years, but still. So then I decided to write about it. And this is what I came up with. It's called Vesuvius Crofton Blues. Forever in a day there's been oodles of talk on ferries versus bridges, 'cause it's easy to walk on water that is abundant, salty and cold. But ferries versus bridges is a cerebral blindfold to ideas and solutions suspended in thought. I propose to design a hybrid and then give it a shot. Make it green by using recycled vessels, bow to stern, as a maritime highway museum for all of us to learn. The answer is very simple, though the concept may be new. Don't let the highway do the driving, 'cause the driver should be you. Still waiting in line, and I got me a case of the Vesuvius Crofton Blues. I can see them now from stern to bow, all lined up in a chain link row. Lanes for traffic, cyclists and pedestrians to satisfy everyone on the go. HOV lanes would be nice to allow you to slice a minute or two off the trip. Market stalls and restaurants above car decks to maximize use of the ships. The answer is very simple, though the concept may be new. Don't let the highway do the driving, 'cause the driver must be you. Still waiting in line, I just drank me a case of the Vesuvius Crofton Blues. Glorious views of Sampson Narrows and the big black eye of Crofton Pulp Mill. Pleasure boats that mostly float, with happy folk fishing and drinking swill. The drawbridge goes up and there's a huge line up as I melt into gridlock. I've no choice but to stop or turn around and return sheepishly to the rock. Deficient in luck, I'd likely return to find another drawbridge to be spurned. Then it's back to my fate of sit, wait, and contemplate another lesson learned. The answer is very simple, though the concept may be new. Don't let the highway do the driving, 'cause a driver should be you. Still waiting in line, I'm humming in time with the Vesuvius Crofton Blues. I pray, oh Lord, please find me a cure for the Vesuvius Crofton Blues. There we go. Now, I might be able to, I don't know if I can do it here or not. I'll just see. No. Okay. I'm just going to check to see. Let's go to here. I can keep this actually down for a while. Whoops. Oh, I didn't kill that, did I? No. Oh. Love the hip hop integrated in the song. That's from Lynn. Bravo. Myra, I get to be part of those Crofton Blues. Was not too bad the last time I went to the island, which was amazing. Claudette, you have a lovely voice. That rap verse was a surprise. Well, it's a surprise for me too, because I don't quite know how to do it, but I have fun with it. Thank you. Okay, here's something it's one of those poems that I really like. And the reason I really like it, or one of the reasons I really like it, is because it was written with my grandchildren in mind. And it's, I'll read it to you and you can see what you think. Doesn't really go with the time of year, but because it's called Snowflakes. Says the big snowflake to the little snowflake, it's cool to be cold, and your shape you must hold, to be transported to where you may land without fear, on the inhabited sphere that many hold so dear. Some of us flutter around for the tour of the town, till in gravity's embrace we're gently hugged to the ground, where we cuddle with our flaky friends to stay cold and sound. Says the little snowflake to the big snowflake, sooner or later, no matter how hard we try, it will get too warm from the sun in the sky, so we will melt and the snowflake dies. Says the big snowflake to the little snowflake, don't cry, little one. Yes, the snowflake dies to become a drop of water like the tear from one's eye. But this water is good and seeps into the soil to nourish plants that feed animals and people in need, or help fill rivers and lakes with water to drink and to bathe. We live more than one life for the growth and support of others who begin as sisters and brothers to become fathers and mothers and grandfathers and grandmothers. We were born by nature as beautiful icy flakes to be melted by nature for humanity's sake. Says the little snowflake to the big snowflake. It's cool to be a snowflake, all icy and proud, then melt to help others as nature's allowed. Dum dum dum. Yeah. Oh, Rianne. Good to see you're on board. One of these years I'll see you again. Where are we now? Oh, I've got some quotes here that I wanted to share. There's a few of them in a row, so just bear with me. If you can't, don't. If you can, do. If you can, that's the dance for you. If you can't, you are level against the bevel. If you can't, you are an angler of sorts. If you can, you can't bark because you make a lousy seal. It's almost a daddy joke. Okay, and this one's 3 memory conditions. And I know them all. Number 1, premeditated lack of short-term memory. Number 2, spontaneous lack of short-term memory. What was the first one? Number 3, selective memory. It wasn't me that drove my car over the motorcycle jump. I was hijacked by the passenger. Don't search for me among the flock of wayward sheep. I've been blessed with enough intelligence, stubbornness, and independence to get lost all by myself. The 5 senses are taste, sight, touch, smell, and hearing. All serve best with a sense of humor. There you go. I went to the piano store to buy some sheet music. They said, "Sheet, no." I said, "You've got to be kidding me." They said, "Try the organ store across the street." I went to the organ store across the street and they said, "Sheet, no. You must be kidding." I said, "Not a chance. I'm a healthy liver." I blew it. I went to the organ bank instead of the organ store, but close enough. If all animals could fly and frolic in the sky, one might say the perpetual forecast is a crappy day. If the red, yellow, and green apples are all green, which are the green ones? How old am I? Old enough to have had every bodily orifice examined, probed, and cross-examined. Oh, just seeing. Oh, some people showed up. Oh, hi, Joss. You're in Saskatoon. You're not gonna get the prize for the one that came furthest away. I think your cousin's gonna get that one. Hi, Samantha. Good to see you. Okay, where are we at? Might have time for one more after this. Let's see. This is, I've got one word, hallelujah. This is that song. I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throat and cut your hair. And from your lips she drew, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the Marble Arch. Your love is just a victory march. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah. 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 No, I think I've forgotten the last verse. Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. There's not a... Oh, I really blew it. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Ooh, there's prizes? Claudette goes. Yeah, but my brother Dave's in charge of that, so I don't know what you'll get. Maybe a half-eaten apple or something, I'm not sure. Lynn, wow, that's old. So awesome, Dave, Samantha, singing with you until I messed up, I guess, but thank you for doing that, Samantha. I sang along, said Jocelyn. Well, cool. So you know what? I think it's that time. It's kind of right on 45 minutes. And I'm very pleased that you guys showed up. And I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. So, again, peace out. Love you all. Good night.